In this video, I'm going to backtest the performance of the opening range breakout setup over the past 3 months. We'll be looking at the 90-day data inside of the S&P, the major index markets, along with other markets like gold and Bitcoin. Now to get started, I'm going to head over to the reporting page inside of our ORB platform. This will give us some high-level stats of the markets we look at. So I'm curious about SPY, DIA, IWM, QQQ for our 4 major index markets. Let's add in gold, let's add in silver, and let's add in GBTC for our Bitcoin proxy. You can choose between the opening range you want to backtest, the 5-minute range, the 15-minute, or the 30-minute range. I'll start with the 5-minute, and I want to look at the past 90 days with the half-range stop, the half-range stop, and the half-range target, looking in both the long and short direction. This is a risk one to make one sort of trade idea. This is our baseline. Once I click Run Report, we get the instant stats for these markets. This tells us where is the strategy currently working. Where is the 5-minute opening range breakout still a good setup right now towards the tail end of 2024 as we head into the beginning of 25. Now at the top here for the 5-minute breakout, you should notice that GBTC is leading the way. It's at the very top with both the win rate being the highest, along with the strategy ROI being the highest. So that tells us in the morning, GBTC tends to come out of the gate running, and whichever direction, whether it's long or short, that it tends to come out in, that's the direction to follow in, at least for the first 5 minutes. Let's see what happens if we change this from a half-range target to a full-range target. This means now we're going for a reward of 2 while maintaining a stop of 1. If we run this and sort by strategy ROI, one more time, GBTC at the very top. So this tells us out of these markets for the 5-minute breakout, Bitcoin is the one right now to focus on. It's the one working the best. Let's see if this holds true with the 15-minute range as well. I'm going to rerun this report, and let's change this to a half-range target one more time. And once we rerun it, we now get the stats for the 15-minute breakout. One more time here, we can see Bitcoin at the very top, a high win rate, a high strategy ROI, along with the positive P&L and trade expectancy. That tells us right now, out of all of these markets we've put in for the opening range setup, for the first 5 minutes and the first 15 minutes, Bitcoin is the market to focus on. The Qs are shortly behind the NASDAQ if you wanted a traditional index market, which also tends to do quite well in this 15-minute range. If we expand our target one more time here, there's a handful that still have a positive ROI, and no surprise here, GBTC at the very top. So first 5-minute and 15-minute ranges, GBTC is the one that's really impressing us. Now we come into the 30-minute range, and in the 30-minute range, if we were to sort by our strategy ROI, we see IWM and SPY at the top now, GBTC at the very bottom. So that tells us that the first 5 and 15 minutes, so essentially when that morning volatility is high, GBTC, a really good market to try and trade in the direction of the breakout. That's where we're seeing that this performance holds true. As we get to that 30-minute range, so far it's looking like SPY and IWM are the better markets to be focusing in on. Now let's dig a little bit deeper. Specifically, I'm more curious about this GBTC setup. So I'm going to come into our backtester, and I want to crack open GBTC in a little bit more detail. Now it was the 5 and the 15 minute that we said looked good over the past 90 days. Let's start with the half and half here. I'll click run. And now this gives us some more stats. We can see a breakdown of long versus short trade setups here. So in GBTC, we can see both the longs and the shorts on that 5-minute are doing quite well. 70%, 65% positive P&L across the both. We take a look at our P&L over time, steadily rising. You have a positive trade expectancy, a positive win rate, a positive strategy ROI, and a positive strategy P&L. You can also see the specific trades down here if you wanted to study these in a little bit more detail. We can expand this now from, let's say, that half-range target to a full-range target. And while that win rate drops, we can see exactly which trades actually slipped off. Now with this full-range target and a half-range stop, we can see that the longs are doing a little bit better now compared to the shorts. So it gives us a little bit of a bias. We, of course, expect this with the performance of crypto over the past whatever few weeks. However, it gives us some real numbers that the longs are outperforming. What I think it gives you that most people just discount right away is it tells you that even the shorts, when you go for a wider target here and having a more controlled stop, even though it's less than 50% of the time you win, on the long run, you're still coming out ahead with a positive P&L. That's what I think most people forget or don't pay attention to when they look at the ORB setup. We expand this same idea now to the 15-minute range, and here we can see that the longs are smack dab at that 50% mark, but in both cases our P&L still continues to be positive, and look at this P&L over time. So that tells us what GBTC's performance has been in that 5 and 15 minute over the past 90 days, excuse me. Now if I change this to the 30-minute opening range breakout, you can see that very clear difference in the P&L. This is a strategy you want to avoid here, the 30-minute opening range breakout inside of Bitcoin. It's really the 5 and the 15 with the half and the half for the 1-to-1 risk to reward, or the 1-to-2 that you should be focusing in on. Now you might think that this is a lot to keep track of, and that's where the scanner will do all of this for you automatically. You choose what is your threshold. So say, in my case, I like to have a win rate of at least 75%, and I want both the P&L and the expectancy to be positive. Well, the scanner will only show me all of the opening range breakout setups where those rules are being met. So it essentially keeps you on the right side of the trade. It helps you avoid all of these bad setups. And whenever this setup starts to backtest well, the scanner will automatically add that back into its trade rotation here. So the scanner keeps you on the right side. It does all of this heavy lifting that I just showed you with the reports and the backtester automatically. It tells you what actually to focus in on. If on the weekends or even after the markets you're curious to dig specific markets deeper, I would start on the reporting page first. This allows you to compare multiple markets very quickly, just get high level performance, and then figure out which ones you actually want to go dig deeper into to analyze further. I hope you found this video helpful for those of you looking to understand how to use the backtester and the reporting functionality to better trade the opening range breakout setup. Take care, everyone. Good luck trading, and I'll see you in our next update.